a talking frog that lives in a world where there is monsters. The only item you have on you is a rock, and it is your only weapon. You must find the way out of this place to escape from what lies beyond. The next few minutes are spent looking for any signs of life, but nothing comes to mind. It seems like no one has ever been here before. You see a cave entrance, so you head inside hoping that maybe someone else has been here before. You walk into the cave and begin reading the cave's text. It reads, "This is a very special place. I don't think anyone has ever been here before." What do you mean? A light shines through the opening, revealing a large pile of rocks. A small piece of paper sits beside them. I found these in my pack when I was exploring the caves, but they were all crushed by falling boulders or broken during my fall. You hear a voice call out, "Hey, are you the guy with the rock?" "Yeah," you reply. "Well, come on over here," he says as he picks up his rock and tosses it at you. You catch it and throw back at him. He catches it again and throws it back at you. "Come on, let's play," he says as he grabs another rock from the pile and tosses it at you. You catch it and throw back at him. He catches it again and throws it back at you. He continues throwing the rocks at you until you run away. You rush outside to get the paper, but you can't read anything on it. There is a message written in black ink. "This cave contains dangerous creatures. If you enter this cave, you will die." You quickly go back inside the cave and hide behind some rocks, but soon realize that there are too many creatures in the area. You decide to leave the cave since there isn't much room left. You slowly approach one of the creatures and ask if he knows where you can find shelter. The creature looks at you for a moment, then turns around and runs off. You continue walking until you reach an old abandoned house. You enter the house and see a few other people gathered around. One of them asks what you want, and you explain your situation. They tell you that they have seen creatures like those in the cave before, so they know about shelters nearby. They agree to take you in and give you a place to sleep. You thank them and begin to rest. The next day, you wake up early and head towards the shelter. It seems like everyone has already arrived, which makes you feel more comfortable than ever. When you arrive, you notice that it is indeed bigger than you thought. There are several rooms with beds in them, each with a different color door. A man comes out of one of the rooms and tells you to wait while he goes check on others. When you arrive, you notice that it is indeed bigger than you thought. There are several rooms with beds in them, each with a different color door. A man comes out of one of the rooms and tells you to wait while he goes check on others. You watch him walk away from the shelter and back to the entrance. You look around and see that most of the people here seem to be older men who seem to work at a local mine. Most of them wear hard hats, although some don't. One of them walks over to you and says, "We've been told not to talk or even turn our heads, but we're afraid to stay quiet right now." Well, there's always the possibility that someone might get hurt by something. We've also been told not to go outside, but we're still worried about the monsters coming out of their holes and attacking us. "Oh, this." The man pulls out a small black pouch and opens it. Inside is a bunch of coins. It's supposed to help pay for food and such in case we run short of money. There's a grocery store across town. Just follow the signs. The man leads you through the streets until you reach a large building. It looks like an old church, but with modern features. You enter and find yourself in a very large room filled with shelves full of food and other supplies. "That one costs $5. The man points to a shelf of pasta. "But I guess if you want to save money, you can just eat whatever you want." You eat a few bites of pasta before noticing that the man is staring at you. You quickly cover up and hide behind the counter while he stares at you. He doesn't say anything else, but after looking at you a moment longer, he leaves without saying another word. You feel slightly better now that you know he isn't a monster. You walk back to the kitchen and see several people eating in front of you. They look normal enough, but they don't seem happy. You wonder if you should leave, but then decide against it since you need to be careful. You approach a young girl who seems to be the manager of the place. She smiles when she sees you, but her eyes are fixed on some TV screen. "I'm sorry, but I can't tell you what show you're watching right now." "No, not really. I mean, yes, I am hungry, but I have been here for hours already." She takes a bite out of the pasta and thanks you profusely. You thank her back, but she says nothing more. You go back to your own food and continue eating. It's still early, so you decide to head home. As you pass by the street, a car drives past. The driver looks like he has just gotten off work and is driving slowly because he doesn't want to get in an accident. The man turns around quickly and points his finger at you. He screams something about how you shouldn't be walking alone at night and runs away as fast as he can. You turn around and see that there isn't anything out of the ordinary. There are no cars following or even outside your house. You turn back to the road and continue on your way. You hear a loud noise from the direction where you were going. It sounds like it came from above and was accompanied by some sort of explosion. You look up and see a bright light coming from above you. It seems to come from the sky, but then again everything does these days. You catch the light and find yourself in front of a small town. A large building looms over you. Its name is the school and its roof is covered with black tarps. A young girl wearing a school uniform walks towards you. She has long blonde hair and wears glasses. Her eyes seem to have been burned out. She stares at you for a moment before answering. The girl looks down at her feet and says, "I'm sorry, I can't tell you." The girl looks back up at you and smiles. She says, "No, I'm not a monster." The girl shakes her head and says, "No, I'm not a ghost." The girl looks down at her feet and says, "They were stolen by some strange force when I was little." The girl looks back up at you and nods. She slowly reaches into her pocket and pulls out 2 white orbs that she holds up to your face. They look like they've been through hell, but then again so have all of us. You stare at the white orbs in disbelief as if they're real. The girl's smile disappears and she begins to cry. She turns away from you and runs off with the orbs in hand. You follow the girl and find her hiding behind a large rock. She tells you that she ran away because she was scared of something, but it wasn't ghosts or monsters. She points to a small figure sitting on top of a nearby tree. Its face is covered in scratches and bites, but its eyes seem to be intact. She asks you if you want to help her get rid of it, but you decline since you don't know where she lives now. She points to the creature and tells you that she needs someone who knows how to kill things like a doctor or scientist. You agree and go back home. You spend most of the day looking for this person. By nightfall you give up and decide to just stay home. You try calling your friends, but no one answers. You call your parents, but they don't answer either. Your sister doesn't even come over anymore. You think about asking her to come over, but you realize that would probably only make things worse. You fall asleep and wake up feeling very tired. You feel like you should be able to do better than this, but you don't know what to do next. You head downstairs and find an old bookcase filled with books. You pick one up and begin flipping through it. This is when you notice that there are pictures of various creatures on the cover. Some are animals, some aren't, but they all look pretty scary. You flip through the rest of the pages until you find a picture of a man with long black hair wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. He has 2 horns sticking out of his forehead and wears glasses. You recognize him immediately as the monster from your dreams. He looks at you and smiles. "Hello," he says. The end.